Tonight on Trojan Vision News, it's International Peace Day. We'll show you just one of the ways that Troy University is observing the global holiday coming up.
The frantic search for survivors continues after Tuesday's deadly earthquake in Mexico. I'm Chris Martinez in Mexico City. The very latest is coming up.
And the Confucius Institute introduces a popular style of Chinese dance. We've got more on that on the way. Stay tuned, Troy. Trojan Vision News starts right now.
From the High Definition Production Center of Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network, Troy, Alabama's International University. This is Troy Trojan Vision News.
Hello and welcome to Troy Trojan Vision News for September 21st, 2017. I'm Madison Neal.
And I'm Sarah Singletary. Thank you for joining us this evening. A possible shooting on campus was on the minds of Troy University students, faculty, and staff today as a morning safety message warned of rumors of a possible shooting, one that did not occur. Lauren Harkson explains what was behind the university's warning.
So it all stems back to this one writing on the bathroom wall that indicated, it was stated Troy State, there will be a shooting on 9/21/17.
That message was found in the dining hall last week and led university officials to warn students, faculty, and staff about a rumored shooting planned for Thursday.
When the university sent out a email and posting onto our SOS website concerning a number of rumors that we had received last night and early into the morning, that there was going to be a shooting on campus today. And so we asked students to take, normal precautions.
While the university exercised caution about the initial threat, there had been reports of additional threatening messages being found around campus. Reeves says the dining hall message was the only actual threat found.
And that is the only written, threat of any sort that we have received. These other notes that supposedly were thrown, in the bathrooms, we have not been able to substantiate those at all.
Even though the university didn't feel there was any substance to the rumor, they did increase police presence on campus on Thursday as a precaution.
Typically on a day shift, there's 4 sworn officers and 3 security officers. Today that was probably, we brought back in an additional 4 of our own officers. The city sent officers over, the county sent some up. We probably had somewhere close to 15, 18 officers on campus.
And Reeves says that a greater law enforcement presence will be visible until leaders determine it is no longer necessary.
With regards to this, like I say, this had a specific date on it today, and I know today's not over, but it also had a specific time of 12 p.m. And like I say, we'll continue that heavy police presence until such time as we feel that threat is, or is no longer, even an issue with anyone.
Lauren Harkson, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
Although nothing happened today, Reeves says that everyone in the university community should do their part to report any suspicious activity to university police.
And while there was a threat of violence looming over campus today, a group of Troy students spent their morning focusing on peace, enjoying a moment of silence and meditation for International Peace Day. Chelsea Law gives us a look at the event.
The International Cultural Arts Center hosted a free meditation session Thursday morning inside of its center in honor of International Peace Day.
We're celebrating here at the IAC to kind of foster a sense of unity throughout the campus and help our students realize that peace can be achieved, even if it is in micro amounts.
This is the first time students have been able to participate in an event hosted by IAC since they opened their doors last year.
This is our first event that has involved specifically students. We've had a couple of other events like our opening and other things, but this is for our students. Of course, anybody on the campus is welcome, but we wanted something to bring more people in here.
During the meditation session today, a moment of silence was taken to reflect on peace throughout the world.
That's actually one of the biggest features of International Peace Day that is done all over the world. There are several things that people do, but the main thing people do is have a moment of silence. And it just is to reflect on, things that we can improve in the world.
Chelsea Law, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Festivities for International Peace Day will continue tonight with a peace gathering at the International Arts Center at 7 p.m. The university is celebrating the school's international culture with the peace gathering tonight.
However, there is a weekly opportunity to learn about the country that brings the most international students to campus, China.
It is very complicated.
Jixin Chen is a visiting scholar here at Troy University, and when he's not teaching in the classroom, you may find him dancing there.
Actually, I'm not a dance teacher. It is my hobby, so I choose to talk about something about Chinese folk dance.
Chen began practicing Chinese folk dancing when he was just 7 years old.
I think it is a good way to relax and refresh myself, and I will do some gestures. I think it is a good way to show the emotion of myself.
So when it came time for him to give his presentation at Wednesday's Chinese Corner, he was able to do more than just lecture on his hobby. He was able to perform it.
I think you can learn Chinese cultures. At the same time, from the culture, you can have a better understanding of the Chinese folk dance.
And while Chen admits he doesn't know much about American dances,
actually, I don't have so much knowledge about American dance, but I know the hip hop, one kind of dance, is very, very fast.
He does point out one difference.
The movement of the Chinese folk dance and the movement of American dance, maybe that is the difference.
Chinese Corner is held each Wednesday from 3 to 4 at the Confucius Institute in Bibb Graves Hall.
Now for news from across the nation and around the world on Troy Trojan Vision News.
President Trump has issued a new executive order ramping up economic pressure on North Korea to abandon its nuclear program.
The decision came as the president held talks with two key U.S. allies in the middle of the tensions on the North Korean peninsula. Mola Lingyi has the latest from the White House.
On the sidelines of the UN General Assembly, President Trump issued a new executive order allowing the U.S. to impose sanctions on companies and individuals that finance trade with North Korea.
North Korea's nuclear weapons and missile development is a grave threat to peace and security in our world, and it is unacceptable that others financially support this criminal rogue regime.
The order aims to cut off sources of revenue that fund North Korea's nuclear ambitions.
No bank in any country should be used to facilitate Kim Jong-un's destructive behavior.
In another major blow, Mr. Trump revealed China, Pyongyang's largest trading partner, is now joining the effort.
Their central bank has told their other banks to immediately stop doing business with North Korea.
The announcement came during President Trump's meetings with the leaders of South Korea and Japan, both of whom fully support the move.
And I'm very confident that such moves will contribute to complete denuclearization of DPRK.
In his first address to the UN, the president warned the U.S. could destroy North Korea if forced to defend itself or its allies.
Rocket Man is on a suicide mission for himself.
Today, he signaled dialogue is still possible.
Thank you.
Just last week, the UN Security Council unanimously approved new sanctions against North Korea aimed to cut the nation's oil imports. Mola Lingyi, CBS News, the White House.
The death toll continues to rise following a 7.1 magnitude earthquake that rocked Mexico. At least 245 people are feared dead.
And crews are working around the clock to find the missing. Chris Martinez reports from Mexico City.
Rescuers and bucket brigades clear mountains of debris for a third day in an effort to reach people buried alive in Mexico City. 27-year-old Lourdes Escamilla is holding out hope that her husband Saeed will be pulled to safety. She says he was working in this office building when the 7.1 magnitude earthquake rocked Mexico City Tuesday. You will stay until you know something?
Sí. Until I have news of my husband, until I see him.
Guadalupe Salinas Riojas is frantically searching for her 26-year-old son. They, along with many others, have been camped out here since Tuesday. You are hopeful that your son is alive?
Sí.
Frantic scenes like this are playing out all across Mexico City. At least 38 buildings collapsed. But there are glimmers of hope. A rescue team is trying to pull a young girl from the rubble of her elementary school. They've spent most of the day shoring up the structure and believe others are still trapped inside. Still, everyone knows crews are running out of time. The devastation is all around. Building after building is demolished. Others will need major repairs. Mexican officials say assistance is pouring in from across the world.
We are receiving help from the U.S., from Japan, from Chile, in terms of equipment.
Mexico City's transit system is back up and running, but it will be a long time before this part of Mexico is made whole. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Mexico City.
Well, Madison, I have to say it was just hot outside today.
Yes, it was, Sarah. I really hope that it will cool down before the big game this weekend. What's it looking like, Ashley?
Well, ladies, the weather is still expected to be quite warm tomorrow, even though tomorrow does mark the first day of fall. I'll have those details and what to expect for our Trojan football Saturday up next on weather.
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Marie, you have prediabetes.
Prediabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get prediabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for prediabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No?
From the High Definition Production Center of Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network, now your weather on Troy TrojanVision News.
Hello, and thank you for staying tuned for your Troy TrojanVision weather. I'm Ashley Bredekite. Tomorrow marks the beginning of fall, which brings out the joy of pumpkin spice lovers everywhere. However, tomorrow will not exactly be ushering in the start of fall temperatures, as we are still expecting to see temperatures in the high 80s through our weekend, as well as chances of rain being sprinkled in there as well. Let's look outside at our current conditions right now in Troy, where we are seeing partly sunny skies with a temperature around 91 degrees. Again, it is quite warm out there, and we are expecting to see those warmer temperatures continue through the weekend. Our wind is coming from the north around 5 miles per hour, which is offering a slight break from those warm temperatures, but not quite enough to make it feel like fall, even though fall does begin tomorrow. Our low for this morning was 69 degrees, and hopefully we'll be seeing those cooler temperatures stick around throughout the day very soon. Looking around the state, you can see up in Huntsville at 89 degrees, Birmingham at 90 degrees. Throughout the entire state of Alabama, those temperatures in the low to mid 90s are staying fairly consistent. As we look out at the rest of the southeast, they are also seeing those warmer temperatures as the end of summer is giving us a last push of heat on its way out the door. Looking around the rest of the country, we can see even over in Texas, seeing those temperatures in the low to mid 90s. So we are hoping to see the entire southeast start to cool down very soon. Looking at our map for tomorrow, we do have a chance of pop-up thunderstorms going throughout the day, so you might want to keep an umbrella with you. And for Saturday, for our Trojan game that is here at home at Veterans Memorial Stadium, we are hopefully going to see mostly clear skies, but check your weather maps in the morning before you head out for your pregame tailgating. There might be a few pop-up showers that you might need to bring a rain jacket for just in case. And going into Sunday and Monday, we are hoping to see mostly clear skies, but there are about a 20% chance of rain and thunderstorms for both of those days. But looking at tonight right now, we are expecting to see a few isolated rain showers with a low around 68 degrees and calm winds. Going into tomorrow, again, high of 88 degrees with scattered potential for thunderstorms and more calm winds headed our way But tomorrow does mark the first day of fall, and Saturday is another home Trojan football game. Hopefully we will see those 20% chances of rain over the next few days skirt out of our area, especially on Saturday. Sarah, Madison, we are expecting to see a little bit of chance of rain over the next few days, but hopefully the skies will clear up and maybe cool down a little for our home Trojan football game this Saturday.
Yes, I'm really looking forward to the game, and I hope the weather is cool.
Absolutely, and no rain on top of that. Thanks so much, Ashley.
Thank you.
And coming up on Troy Trojan Vision News, a kid escaped police by causing chaos at a Massachusetts hotel, but probably not the kind of kid you were thinking of. We'll have that story coming up.
And the Trojan football team is back at the vet this weekend as they will take on the Zips. Seth Hawk has that story and more coming up in sports.
So they say it's a man's world? See anybody's name on it. While they were out doing their thing, we slowly changed all that. We changed all that. Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Now, the latest in Trojan sports on Troy Trojan Vision News.
Good evening, Trojan fans, and welcome to your Troy Trojan Vision Sports. I'm Seth Hawk. Let's start tonight off with a little TROY football, as this Saturday the Trojan football team will have their second home game of the season as they welcome in the Akron Zips. Sarah Drake gives us a preview of the contest.
This Saturday, the Trojan football team welcomes in the Akron Zips to Veterans Memorial Stadium, and head coach Neil Brown calls them one of the most improved teams in the country.
Akron is a quality football team. Really played a very difficult schedule, played Penn State, one of the top 5 teams in the country, and then last week played Iowa State, who I think's, their coach there, Matt Campbell, does a great job, and they're one of the most improved teams in the country as well.
Brown mentioned some of the Zips' offensive playmakers that can make defenses miss tackles.
They've got a quarterback named Watson who's a dual threat, really accurate. They've been throwing the ball a good bit this year. Running back, his name Ball, he's an Ohio State transfer, very similar to Jordan, and he's a big physical kid, runs downhill, and they got several playmakers at wideout, some guys that can make you miss in space, the way I do a good job tackling.
And Brown also talks about Akron's defense that can hit the offense from different angles.
They've got a corner, number 4, Brown, who I think is probably going to be the best cover guy we've played all season. A linebacker, number 5, Gilbert, who's really active, had a lot of tackles so far this year, and their best pressure guy up front is number 9, Davis, who he does a really nice job of using his hands and plays a good pad level.
This game will also feature one of the most famous last names in college football, Bowden. Terry Bowden, who is the son of former FSU coach Bobby, will be returning to the vet Saturday.
Terry Bowden's done a great job there. I think he's one of the winningest coaches Akron's ever had. I'm sure this is a special game for him. They held the Bowden family camp here for a number of years, so to come back to Troy, and I'm sure a lot of his family can get back here too.
But Brown knows that his team is excited to be back in front of the home crowd.
Good challenge. Like I said, our guys are excited about getting back home, and we've got to continue to improve and build off the last 2 weeks.
This game will also serve as Military Appreciation Day, so make sure you get to the stadium early to watch all the pre-game festivities. Sarah Drake, Troy, Trojan Vision Sports.
The Trojans will play for win number 3 beginning at 5 p.m. Before the game, there will be an American flag that will cover the entirety of Larry Blakeney Field, while 2 F-16 fighter jets soar over the vet. And now let's head from the gridiron to the court as the Trojan volleyball team is getting ready to open conference play this weekend. They will make a trip to the Lone Star State to wrap up an 8-game road trip. The Trojans will kick things off against UT Arlington in their first Sun Belt Conference game of the season on Friday night. And then the team will travel to San Marcos to take on Texas State on Saturday. And now from the court to the green, let's look at the Trojan men's golf team, who had a bit of a rough start to the season at the Carpet Capital Collegiate in Rocky Face, Georgia, finishing 15th out of 15 teams. And if you do the math, that means last place. Junior golfer Callum Masters says that he realizes that the team has a lot of work to do, but that they are up to the challenge in order to make it to regionals.
It's time to jump on it, especially after having that finish put us behind the 8 ball as far as our record goes, because to get into regionals, you have to have a 500% win record, and obviously we are at 0. So knowing that, I think we all just kind of going into the 10 days in between Carpet Capital and Shoal, it's been just everyone's kind of bared down and known that we've got stuff to do.
The men's golf team will travel to Birmingham to compete in the Shoal Creek Invitational on Monday. So, Sarah and Madison, best of luck to both men's golf and volleyball as they will be in action. But football is back in the vet. I cannot wait for pregame as the American flag will cover 100-plus yards on the football field, and those F-16 fighter jets will be awesome.
Absolutely. I am going to make sure to get to the vet early to catch all the pregame fun.
Me too. I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you,
Absolutely.
Seth.
Go Trojans.
The City of Montgomery's Out of the Darkness Walk for Suicide Awareness is coming up early next month.
Aaron Taylor learns more about this year's walk in today's edition of Trojan Talk.
Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. Today we'll be talking about an opportunity for people to help fight suicide and bring awareness to suicide. The Out of Darkness Walk, and my guest today is Felicia Franklin with the Out of Darkness Walk. Thanks for joining us here today. So
more than welcome.
And let's talk a little bit about the Out of Darkness Walk and what this means.
Well, the Out of Darkness Walk is we have community walks. The one that will be October the 7th, the one that I chair, is actually Saturday, October the 7th at the Buddy Watson Park in Montgomery, Alabama. We have them in several different cities. We also have campus walks.
Okay.
So there's Out of Darkness campus walks as well, just for college campuses. But it's to bring awareness to and help fight suicide. Knowledge is power. So that's what it's all about.
And what brought this about? Why have an event like this?
Well, I am a field advocate for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and the Out of Darkness walks are a part of the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. They're aid to help get the awareness out. We do several different activities to bring awareness to. Suicide is a very sensitive topic. Not a lot of people like to talk about it, but we can't just sweep it under the rug. So we try to find different ways, different activities to bring awareness. We go to different campuses, we go to different organizations to spread the word, to get it out there, what's really going on.
And that's one of those things, is because it is such a sensitive subject. And a lot of people who may have had a family member who have committed suicide, or a friend, they may not be open to want to talk about it. And I guess things like this it helps kind of the healing process, but it also brings awareness to what's happening to other people out there, right?
It does, very much so. And that's why we're here, to help heal, to get the awareness out, to let people know that you are not alone. Myself, I dealt with it in my family. I am also in the military, and we deal with it in the military. So it's not something that's just going to go away if we continue to sweep it up under the rug. And we have educational pieces to get it out there, the risk factors, the warning signs, even protective factors. And that's what it's all about, just giving awareness, giving knowledge, so people will know.
And now let's talk a little bit about the event itself. Obviously, this is an event and opportunity for people to get involved and be a part of it. So talk about what folks can expect if they take part in the event.
Well, we'll have different vendors out. It's not going to be a sad occasion. It's not a sad occasion.
Okay.
So by all means, we'll be out, and it's the Walk to Fight Suicide. So we'll be at the Buddy Watson Park, and we'll have different organizations. You can actually donate to the cause. We'll have different vendors again out. We'll have different people out. We'll have tables set up. Different organizations will be out. They'll be just having fun. We plan to have things for kids. It's going to be a family-friendly event, so the kids can come out, bring your whole family to get awareness. Some things people just don't know, and to realize you're not alone. it's a community event.
Most definitely. And bring the community together and
Yes.
and talk about these things. But now, if anyone is interested, is there any kind of registration for this? Is there anything they need to do prior to the event, or they just show up?
Well, you can just show up.
Okay.
You can and register the day of.
Okay.
However, the website is afsp.org. You
Okay.
can go afsp.org or / Montgomery added to that, and it'll take you directly to the Montgomery Walk. Registration is free. Whatever you like to donate, if you donate $1, if everyone does a little, then we can all make it a lot. So it's no set amount. The smaller the amount, the larger the amount. Just coming out, you can register the day of, you can register online. We just love to see you out and help support the cause.
And of course, the opportunity there to get the word out to people about suicide awareness, suicide prevention, and who knows, maybe someone will attend this event and open their eyes to things that they can do to help out. And obviously, you're probably even looking for people to help out with this event and help out with your organization as well.
Very much so. We're looking for volunteers for the event. We can always use more volunteers with the organization as a whole. It would be great.
All right,
Yes.
and so once again, if anyone's interested in taking part in the Montgomery Out of Darkness Walk, when and where will it be?
It will be Saturday, October 7th at the Buddy Watson Park in Montgomery, Alabama. The website is afsp.org / Montgomery, Alabama.
All right, and so here's looking forward to getting the word out about suicide prevention and awareness through this walk. A fun activity,
yes,
but a community activity. And thank you for joining us today to tell us a little bit about that. So
thank you, more than welcome.
All right, and thank you for joining us on today's edition of Trojan Talk.
Drug-resistant infections are a growing danger around the world. About 2 million Americans become infected every year by a bacteria that has some level of resistance to antibiotics, and more than 20,000 people die from these infections.
Now, a new report from the World Health Organization says that there aren't enough new antibiotics being made to combat the threat. Kim Hutcherson has more in today's Health Minute.
A report from the World Health Organization says there aren't enough new antibiotics being created to fight infections that are resistant to multiple drugs. Some commonly used antibiotics become less effective or ineffective over time, making treatment more difficult and more expensive. The report says that as of May, just 51 new antibiotics were in development. Only 33 of those target priority pathogens, the bacteria that pose the greatest threat to human health. And of those 33 potential medicines, only 8 are really new. The rest are simple modifications to existing drugs. The WHO report also says that because the development process is very slow, it's likely drug resistance will develop more quickly than new drugs are approved. The World Health Organization has set up a partnership to address the problem. It's also working to improve infection control and developing guidance for healthcare professionals on the responsible use of antibiotics. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
A Massachusetts hotel got a surprise guest when a runaway goat showed up after a run-in with police.
Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
A Massachusetts goat got loose and was spotted hoofing it all over town. It even checked in at a hotel. You've got to be kidding me. After it jumped a 5-foot-tall fence at its farm, police spotted the goat along a highway, but it managed to evade officers and took off again. The goat made its way into a La Quinta Inn in Millbury around 4:30 in the morning. An employee locked it in a room and gave it an apple. Police wrangled the runaway rascal and returned it to its owner. What a bad boy. Terrifying surveillance video out of Pennsylvania shows a woman slamming a speeding car into several parked vehicles. The woman's car barreled into at least 4 vehicles at the dealership, hitting a pole and flipping several times. Officials say the 27-year-old behind the wheel appeared to be fine, but was still taken to a hospital. Investigators are looking into whether alcohol or drugs played a role in the crash. And finally, in San Diego, some young patients will be riding safely in style after a local hospital unveiled a new program that uses remote-control cars to take the patients to the operating room. The kids can choose between 3 high-end cars, a Lamborghini, a Mercedes, and a BMW. The goal of the program is to make surgeries a little less scary and a little more fun. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Well, we are just about out of time, but before we go, we'll get another quick look at our weather.
Yes, Ashley, what can we expect throughout the day tomorrow?
Well, for our first day of fall starting tomorrow, we are expecting to see quite warm temperatures, so we're not quite over the edge into cooler fall temperatures just yet. We should start off the morning around 72 degrees and reach our high around 88 degrees in the early afternoon. We are expecting to see a 20 to 35% chance of rain throughout the day tomorrow, so you might want to grab a rain jacket and tuck it into your backpack on your way to class, just in case we do have some of those showers pop up. That's your conditions for tomorrow. Now back to the news desk.
And that's all the time we have left for Troy Trojan Vision News. From all of us here at Trojan Vision, thanks for joining us. Remember to follow us on Twitter at Troy TV News.
Or like our Troy Trojan Vision News fan page on Facebook to see links to online content from Troy Trojan Vision News. Tune in again tomorrow night for more news, sports, and weather. Have a good night.